What are the consequences if your COVID-19 EIDL defaults and goes to Treasury for collection and cannot be paid? There are actually very serious consequences, and we're tired of hearing people on the internet claiming that, oh, don't worry about it. You should be worried because the federal government has a long memory. We know how many of you are anxious, worried, concerned, distressed, miserable, unhappy, exhausted with the SBA and their handling of the COVID-19 EIDL program, especially in recent months. And we know that right now, many of you feel like you're in a Twilight Zone episode of not knowing how to proceed and how to get your loan to either avoid going into default and being sent to the United States Treasury for collection with an added 30% penalty, or to prevent the loan from going there because you're trying to work out some kind of payment arrangement with the SBA. We get it. We thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel, and we want to keep you up to date as much as possible with information as it develops. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can see our videos as they are released in a timely manner with expert advice based upon our real-time, real-world experiences, not based on Twilight Zone fantasies. We deal with the SBA every day of the week. We deal with small business owners just like you every day of the week. So here's a couple of things. Number one, you may be debarred from doing business with the government in the future altogether. That's a phrase that's on the original COVID-19 EIDL application you filled out back in 2020 and 2021. It says you may be debarred. What does debarred mean? You want to become a federal contractor and do business with the federal government? Debarred. You want to get a loan in the future, either from the SBA or from the Federal Housing Administration or another government agency or a grant or other types of government participation, you may be prevented altogether because of your defaulted COVID-19 EIDL. So our advice is do your best to not default on your COVID-19 EIDL. If your COVID-19 EIDL is in trouble, if you cannot find a way to pay it back, if it goes to default, maybe you have to ultimately file a bankruptcy, either for your business or for your personal bankruptcy because your loan's more than $200,000, both bankruptcies, to protect your assets. We get it. That's a legitimate and viable enterprise to avoid paying this debt. But keep in mind that there are consequences. And one of those is you may not be able to get an SBA loan in the future. And we know people say, I will never need the SBA. I don't want another SBA loan. But you may not have a choice because more often than not, regular lenders will drop your loan application into an SBA profile. That's right, even though you don't want an SBA loan, and you might be prohibited from getting an SBA loan because you defaulted on your COVID-19 EIDL. So don't say, I will never need SBA again. Instead, take a positive approach and find a way to work out payment strategies so you are not in default. Stay tuned here, and we've got advice on how you can do that. If you are a sole proprietor with a COVID-19 EIDL and there's problems making payments, or worse, if your loan is defaulted, if it's been sent to U.S. Treasury, you need to be very, very concerned because you don't have any of the protections of what's called the corporate veil, especially if your loan is more than $200,000. But even if it's less than $200,000 with no personal guarantee, you're a sole proprietor, which means your name and your social security number is on the hook. So there's a lot of dire consequences if your loan defaults. Stay tuned here. We're going to give you more information to try to help you avoid that. But at very least, we have always recommended communicating with SBA and making payments. Find a way to make payments. People are desperate to get information. It's been like that about the EIDL program since 2020. And we have argued back that only experts, people like us, with our sleeves rolled up, real-time, real-world experience with the program, interacting with SBA every day, interacting with business owners every day, only experts can provide accurate information. And we know there are people out there on the internet, they are saying random stuff to make you believe what you want to hear. And they're saying it just because they want it to be true, but it's not true. Accuracy comes from expertise, comes from experience, comes from knowledge, comes from wisdom, comes from doing it. Actions speak louder than words. Oh my God, there's more I've got to share. If your COVID-19 EIDL is in default, either you are making payments but not full payments, or you're behind on your payments, or worse, if your loan has been sent to U.S. Treasury for collection by the SBA, here's the kind of assistance we can provide. Number one, we offer a 1-hour consultation call for $275. You get to pick my brains. I hear your story. I give you advice and provide strategies and expertise on how you can proceed. Next, we have the U.S. Treasury dispute product. It's a flat fee. We file all the paperwork and make it easy for you to get that submitted to dispute your account going to U.S. Treasury. Number 3, stay tuned to our videos because we're giving information as we get it in real time. Thanks for tuning in.